What's going on YouTube? This is Jabber Tech, and today I'm going to give you my full review on the brand new Google Pixel 4a. This is the best $350 that you can spend right now. It's a flagship-like device at a budget-friendly price. This is a camera that's really going to outdo most of your friends out there that have spent well over this price point to get a phone. You do not have to spend thousands to get a phone that's very capable, to get a phone that's going to last throughout the day, and to get a phone that's going to take some shots that's really going to wow everybody. But let's get into this review of the Google Pixel 4a. Before I give you my full rundown on the Pixel 4a, let's get some of the specs out of the way. Under the hood is the Snapdragon 730G processor, 6GB of RAM, 128GB of storage. Yes, Google has given us a 128 storage option on this $350 device, and it only comes in one flavor. You get the just black, nothing else. You don't get any other color options, no other storage options. It is what it is, and that's how Google can keep the price down. Gorilla Glass 3 is on the front of this 5.81-inch panel, 2340 by 1080. It's an OLED panel at that. And quite honestly, guys, it's a very nice panel. You can change the color temperature. If you want a boosted color mode, you can do that, or you can leave it on adaptive. And it's just a very nice panel to look at. Even in direct sunlight, I have no problems with this panel. It's just a very nice 1080p screen. You also get stereo speakers. 3140 milliamp is the battery that charges with 18 watts. That's typical for Pixel lines. And on the back is where you have this beautiful camera, 12.2 megapixel. That's the tried and true sensor from other Pixel device, but we all know it's all about computational photography these days. But this is a nice sensor, no wide angle, no telephoto. On the front is where you have the 8 megapixel front camera, and that also does a really nice job. Video quality has definitely been improved on the Pixel 4a. On the back is where you have your biometrics. This is a rear-mounted fingerprint scanner that's really fast. No issues with this fingerprint scanner. By the time you pull this phone out of your pocket or your bag, you're going to be unlocked and ready to go. We don't have facial unlock at the moment. That's not on this phone. But again, rear-mounted fingerprint scanner is just as easy to unlock super fast. There are a few things that some people might call missing from the Google Pixel 4a, and that's waterproofing, and that's also wireless charging. At this price point, those two things are not found on this device, and that's not something I can knock Google for. They're trying to keep the price down, they're trying to give an awesome experience, and sometimes that means excluding some features. So I give Google a lot of credit for making a phone that really performs as well as this does, and basically, the camera is where it's at. The camera is number one, the camera shines on the 4a. Now the build is a plastic build, it's a polycarbonate build, again, one flavor, just black, with the little color pop on the power button. I'm okay with that. Again, I'm kind of over glass. I know why a lot of manufacturers are using glass on premium devices, but the plastic back means that it's not as fragile as some other phones out there, so if you don't want to use a case, if you just want to rock out raw dog, you can do so with the Google Pixel 4a. I think this will be able to take a beating. Just throw on a screen protector on the front and you'll be good to go. So I'm okay with this build, and the build quality is something, once again, at this price point that definitely shocked me, that definitely surprised me. I'm super happy with the build quality, and I've been using this phone without a case. As you see, my fingerprints on the back. This is a little bit of a fingerprint magnet, but I have no issues. There's really no scratches on this. There's really nothing to show that any wear and tear, and the same goes for the screen. I think they did a nice job with that Gorilla Glass 3. I would have liked to have seen maybe a little higher edition of Gorilla Glass, but it is what it is. Throw on a $1 screen protector from Amazon and you'll be good to go. So I want to tell you once again, if you want to spend the best $350 that you can spend right now on a phone, look no further. The Google Pixel 4a is a device that I did not expect to like as much as I do. I'm coming from another device that costs well over 3 times the price, and for my usage for everyday tasks, I really couldn't tell you the difference between this and my other phone. That just shows you how good, how well optimized the software is. Google did a really nice job optimizing their software. It's stock Google goodness. That's what you can expect from Google. You can also expect 3 years of updates on this phone, and that's what makes it really shine ahead of other budget devices. Most budget devices, let's be honest, if you get 1 year of updates, you're lucky. But Google is promising 3 years of software updates for this $350 device. That's more than some flagships can tout as well. So I think they do a nice job. I think they really want people to enjoy this phone for the long term. And at $350, I can tell you this is the best value for your money. If you want to keep this for a few years, I have no doubt this is still going to run very nicely thanks to that 6 gigabytes of RAM. And thanks to the 128 storage, you're really not going to run out of storage storage anytime soon. Now, if I just scroll through the applications here that I have open, you can see how fast it is. It really is a super snappy processor. And again, that's what surprised me the most about the Google Pixel 4a is just how snappy this device is. I encountered zero lags, no problems with this whatsoever. When it comes to performance, a lot of people like to play games. Now, I have to tell you, I'm not a super hardcore gamer on my device. I like to play the occasional scroll through just like this. I like to play an occasional game when I'm traveling, when I'm commuting. But if you're a hardcore gamer, of course you're going to want something with a little bit more processing power under the hood, a little bit better GPU, etc., etc. But if you're someone that just wants to play a game as you commute, or if you're someone that just likes to play the occasional fun scrolling game, you're going to have no problems with the Pixel 4a. It's a very capable phone for a lot of games, and the stereo speakers make this a lot of fun. So let's just go ahead and I'll show you the quality. Then you can exit the game, and when you come back right in, it's ready to go. You see there was no hesitation when I closed the game and came right back to it. Again, the 730G processor with Google's optimization does an excellent job. Now, you heard the quality of the stereo speakers in a game. Let me just show you, if you're watching some YouTube videos, what you can expect as well. This is the Mystic Black 45mm edition, but they have a smaller size and they have some different colors if that's your thing. So check my link down below if you're interested in picking this up. But there's a reason why Samsung is #2 in the wearable market, right behind the Apple Watch. Samsung make the best consumer smartwatch on the planet. This is no exception. This is the best smartwatch that you can buy right now. So let's get into this full review, and I'm going to tell you why. The stereo speakers are what makes this device super fun for watching multimedia, super fun for playing games, really just a fun overall device. Oh no, yeah, I forgot to mention, if you don't want to annoy people around you, there is a headphone jack. So the 3.5mm jack is back, and it's on this budget-friendly device, and you can have a private listening experience. Again, there's just about everything that most people want on a phone at a very affordable price, and that's the name of the game, guys. But let's talk about a few more things. Let's talk about the camera. The camera is definitely why most people pick up Pixel phones, and I have to tell you, the 4a does not disappoint when it comes to an awesome shooter. Most other devices that I have to kind of take 1 or 2 shots to get it right. I really have to take a few to get that perfect shot, but in typical Pixel fashion, this is a device that you just have to press that shutter button and it's going to get a perfect shot 9 times out of 10. At least that's been my experience. It's just a very capable shooter. So I'm happy to see that Google included their special camera on the Pixel 4a. It's just something that makes this phone even more desirable. Now, one thing about the camera when compared to other Pixel devices, it does take a little bit of time to process. You can see it's processing right there, but that's not really a big deal. You can see that it's going to process the HDR in a couple seconds. But what's great about it is you can still continue to take shots, and it's just kind of going to cue it in the background. So it's going to cue all that processing in the background. You don't have to go and wait for it to process before taking another shot. Now, what's missing on the Google camera, something that's missing for very long, that's a pro mode. There is no pro mode, but we have Google Lens, there's time-lapse, slow motion, panorama. While it would be nice maybe to have some more features, I think the camera is basically enough for just about everybody. You can shoot in 4K, which is definitely a huge plus if you want to do that. Would I like to have seen a wide-angle camera on this? Of course I would. I think everybody would. But as of right now, I think it does a great job. So let me just show you some shots. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about the shots that came from this device. I'm always interested in your opinion, but for me, they were an absolute win every single time. I didn't have to look at them. I just snapped and I kept it moving. Pixel phones have always been known for their stills, but not so much for their video quality. I think Google's stepping up the game. Front-facing camera is looking really good. Well, let me know what you think about it down below. So other than having a snappy phone, you want a phone that's going to last, because if your phone's snappy and your battery can't match it, you're not really going to have a pleasurable experience. Battery life is something that I can really give Google a lot of credit for. They really optimized their operating system, and it's definitely showing on the Google Pixel 4a with the 1080 screen and the processor that's not as power hungry as some of the higher end chips. You get an all-day battery life, and I can attest to that. I drove from New York to Pittsburgh, 7 hours drive. I was using Waze, I was listening to music, I was surfing the web when I was stuck in traffic, replying to text messages, took a few phone calls, and I had 20% at the end of the day. Again, I think that's super awesome, and when I did get back and I'm using this as my daily driver, just doing whatever I gotta do, I have no problems using this. I still make it to the end of the night, which is about 11 p.m. for me. So for battery life, I can give Google a huge thumbs up for it. They really did a nice job optimizing their OS, and it shows on the Google Pixel 4a. Now that being said, a lot of you might get this phone and tell me the battery's not lasting. If you're a super hardcore user, if you're a super user that uses your phone constantly, 24/7, snapping, TikToking, whatever you guys do these days, you might not make it through the entire day. But honestly, there's some flagship devices out there that can't make it through the entire day for heavy users either. But for the average person, the average consumer that's going to pick up this phone, if you're replying to text messages, you're going on the gram, you're doing things that a normal person would do on a daily basis, I think you're going to have no problems with the battery life. I don't have any concerns. I don't stress at all when it comes to battery life here. So good job to Google. They gave us an all-day battery on the Pixel 4a. And then of course, if you are running a bit low and you only got a couple hours to go, you can turn on a battery saver, and that's going to really restrict a lot of access. It's really going to tone down a lot of the processing power of the 4a, so it will make you through until you get home, until you can find the charger. That's basically it, guys. This is an awesome device. If you want to save yourself some cash this summer, if you want to save your cash whenever you're watching this video, the Pixel 4a is a great way to kind of get that flagship-like experience, get that flagship camera at a super affordable price. But let me know what you think about the Google Pixel 4a down in the comments below. I always appreciate you watching. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.